It is, man. It's your boy, Grown Man Business TV. You feel what I'm saying? Now, listen, man. You can tap in and you can tap out, but you know my slogan. You know what I suggest, and I suggest that you tap in. So let's get right into it. Now, you already know my G's. Time and energy are the highest forms of currency. I know they got you out here chasing the bag, chasing that moolah, chasing that guap, stacking that paper, that cheese, and that mozzarella. But always keep it in the front of your mental Rolodex. That time, energy are the highest forms of currency, my G's, at all times is what it is, and it'll be what it's going to be. Big salute to all my day one investors, everybody that's highly invested in the channel, everybody that understands we are growing this channel organically, constant elevation. Yeah, we on our way to the top, well over 30,000 subscribers. Is what it is, and it'll be what it's going to be. Even bigger salute to all my newcomers, all my new investors, all my new subscribers, everybody that's making their way to the Realest channel on YouTube. Listen, man, I carved out a lane for the real, and I'm the only one in this lane. And listen, if you merge into this lane, we gonna crash out. Is what it is, and it'll be what it's gonna be. Big salute to my wrenches, big salute to my member gang. You understand me? Now listen, man, do me a favor. You know what I mean? Show some respect. Wipe your feet off before you walk into this big house. Make sure you take your shoes off and you wipe your feet off before you walk into this big house. You know what I mean? Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Make sure your notification bells are ringing every time we go live here at Grown Man Business TV. Make sure you are tapped into the Realest on YouTube. Is what it is, and it'll be what it's going to be. Now, listen, man, you see the title, right? You see the thumbnail. You know what I mean? Rap beef. 50 Cent is still dissing Irv Gotti. That's the title. You know what I mean? That's the thumbnail. But yeah, I'm here to tell you, man, that is not what we about to talk about. That is not what we about to indulge in right now. See, the downloads are always downloading. And these downloads that I got are so powerful that I had to hide behind the thumbnail. I had to hide the message behind the title. So understand something. We about to talk about something very, very important. We about to talk about something that is detrimental to the black community, the foundational black Americans, to the foundational black authority. We are about to talk about the poisoning of the food. We are going to go in depth. The downloads are downloading. So you already know, before we get into this, right? Before we really tap into what we about to tap into, let me do some customization and all that. You already know how we do over here. Before we really tap into this angle, I need to do a little bit of customization and all that. And we're gonna talk. We're gonna have a real conversation. You know what I mean? And big salute to everybody that's tapped in. MJ, I see you in the chat. MJ, be sure to shoot first and ask questions last when it comes to this live chat right here. All my wrenches, shoot first, ask questions last. We are not going to let you muffle and hinder the message. We are not going to let you put smoke and mirrors and play around with this message we about to deliver. Oh yeah, man, it get deep, it get wicked, and it's always deeper than rap. So my wrenches, y'all already know, man. Shoot first, ask questions last. We are not playing no games with this. All right, so let me do some customization and all that. You know what I mean? One thing for sure, two things for certain. We gonna do some customizations over here. Oh, there it is. You see it at the bottom of the chat, right? Yeah, before you get in here and using your Twitter fingers and all that, before you get to giving your opinion and typing your comments, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Make sure you are in tune with the Realest channel on YouTube. Like, subscribe, share, do all of that. Because if you don't, it's okay. Get in the back of the class, close your mouth and open your ears. Close your mouth and open your ears. All that Twitter fingers and all those comments and your opinion and going back and forth in the chat, we gonna put a stop to that. We gonna cut that short. This ain't that and that ain't this. All right? So again, man, you know, we carved out a lane for the real and we are the only ones in it. And if you merge into this lane, we gonna crash out. My subscribers is going to crash out. My investors is going to crash out. You know, my wrenches and my member gang, they going to crash out. We ain't playing about Grown Man Business TV. We ain't playing about this platform right here. So big salute. Let's get into this, man. I know a lot of y'all see the title, you know, hip hop beef. I know a lot of y'all see the thumbnail. Well, you got Irv Gotti and 50 Cent. Well, you need to know something. Irv Gotti is a part of the downloads that's downloading. And what you need to understand is the last thing we about to talk about is beef within the hip hop industry. We gonna talk about a beef though, but it ain't got nothing to do with hip hop. It ain't got nothing to do with rapper on rapper violence. That ain't what we gonna indulge in today. You know, Irv Gotti lost his life at 54 years old from a stroke, his second stroke. A young man, a young dude like Irv Gotti dying at the age of 54 should be alarming to the rap industry. It should be something that's alarming to the black and brown community. Yeah, I said that. I said black and brown. Because these things, these wars are being aimed not only at foundational black Americans, but also brown people. And see, we're going to talk about that, but that's later on in this live stream. Dame Dash has the same condition as Irv Gotti. One thing for sure, two things for certain, Dame Dash is a threat to the establishment. So you got Dame Dash with the same condition as Irv Gotti, and Irv Gotti loses his life at 54. And Dame Dash, not only is he talking about Rockefeller and sharing, selling his stake and how all these different artists are blackballing him, but he also talks about his fight with diabetes. He also talks about a situation in America that nobody wants to connect the dots to. He also gives his game on that. And Dame Dash is very knowledgeable on the fight with diabetes, which is the core root of what led Irv Gotti to having 2 strokes and losing his life at such a young age. Y'all don't notice how it's not too many people speaking on Irv Gotti. Like, Irv Gotti just passed away, and there is not a full-on celebration of life, of contribution to hip-hop and to the urban community and just to foundational black Americans as a whole. Nobody's celebrating Irv Gotti. Nobody's really putting the light on that situation, and y'all don't think that that's alarming? Well, we're going to talk about that today. We're going to talk about, solutions. Because one thing for sure, two things for certain, Dame Dash put a lot of rappers, a lot of actors, a lot of your favorite celebrities and your favorite puppets, he gave them the light. He gave them the light, and nobody's trying to help Dame. And everybody thinks it's because Dame Dash is Dame Dash. But what I'm here to tell you is Dame Dash's journey and his message is bigger than rap. It's bigger than hip hop. Dame Dash is a black man with type A or type B diabetes with the game. He actually has the knowledge to give black men in America the way to live and to survive type A or type 1 or type 2 diabetes. And that's what we're going to talk about right here in this live chat. When the game get like this, when it's real, when it's pure dope straight off the brick into the bottles, and it's this type of game, I got to hide behind the thumbnail. I got to hide behind the title. Let's really talk about this. Irv Gotti's brother came out recently and told the world that Irv Gotti had his second stroke playing poker and eating Chinese food. I'm going to let him tell it, but I want to say this. Irv Gotti's brother said that Irv Gotti had his second stroke playing poker and eating Chinese food. Chinese food. Don't that ring a bell? Don't the red flags go all over the field when I talk about Chinese people manipulating and monetizing and capitalizing off our community? When I talk about Chinese people having an underlying hate for foundational black Americans, at the same time pumping our community with 4 wings and rice, pumping our community with shrimp fried rice, pumping our community with MSG and all that. You see what I'm saying? I mean, you got to know something. When the downloads is downloading, the downloads is downloading. And we not talking about 50 Cent. We not talking about rap beef. Irv Gotti had his second stroke with a plate of Chinese food, a plate of poison right in front of his face. And nobody wants to talk about that. Nobody wants to home in on the connection. Everybody's scared, homie. It's a war going on outside. No man is safe from. You can run, but you can't hide forever. What does that mean? Well, the food is poison. The air is poison. The water is poison. The soil is poison. The doctors are poison. We're going to talk about that. You know, he said that Irv Gotti is one of those dudes that didn't like going to the doctor. Didn't like having physicians looking over him. Didn't like the beasts. Didn't like the evils, the demons, the dog fur. Misdiagnosing him. So he waited it out. He thugged it out. And he died at 54 years old. Way too young, homie. Way too young. And nobody's going to address this. Well, you know what? Here at Grown Man Business TV, we're going to put a finger on it. We're going to shine a light on it because it get deep, it get wicked, and it's always deeper than rap. It's always deeper than rap. Irv Gotti passed away with a plate of Chinese food in front of his face. Shrimp lo mein and four wings and rice. Yeah, all of that. Beef and broccoli and all of that. Poison. Poison that they push into our communities, man. Poison that they push into our stomachs. Poison that they push into our veins. The same people that hate us they contributing to deleting us. They are doing their due diligence to delete us. Now, with that being said, Irv Gotti's brother Chris Gotti and Dame Dash and some dog fur, they had a very important conversation that caught my eye and was sent to me through my investors. And I watched the conversation and I listened to it, and so many different downloaded when it comes to Dame Dash, when it comes to the matrix we are living in, the poison that we are forced to indulge in. And only Grown Man Business TV is going to come up with these and have these downloads and be able to speak on this. So let's begin with Dame Dash. Well, you know I kept the receipts, right? You already know that I kept the receipts. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to play a little bit of the receipt. We're going to break that down. We're going to talk about that. But it's a reason why Black men are falling face down every day. It's a reason why type A and type B or type 1 or type 2 diabetes is prevalent in the Black community and less prevalent in their communities. It's less prevalent around those people. But when it comes to us, it's something that's damaging. It's something that's really destroying the fabric of the community. It's something that's destroying warriors, war generals. Irv Gotti was a war general. That's why Leo Cohen and all the higher-ups and the elites felt the way about Irv Gotti. Irv Gotti was a war general. He wasn't going to let you just come into the culture, take advantage of the culture, and steal the money and capitalize and monetize and all that. They all had an underlying disdain for Irv Gotti, the same underlying disdain they had for Dame Dash. And the fact that Irv Gotti, a powerful mind, a genius, homie, a genius in our community, fell victim to a stroke, fell victim to type 1 to type 2 diabetes at such an early age is something we got to spearhead, homie. We got to talk about it. All right? So I want you to just check the receipts, man. We're going to talk about this because Dame Dash purpose is way greater than entertainment. Dame Dash's purpose is way bigger than rap music. His purpose is bigger than Jay-Z. But they not going to allow Dame Dash to become Dr. Sebi. They not going to allow a Dame Dash to move into that position. Yeah, yeah. Or I'm saying something y'all ain't never heard before. Hit the like button. I know it's a lot of lurkers in here. I know it's a lot of y'all that's just looking, observing, trying to steal game and peep pimping and all that. But just understand something. It don't matter. You can't stop this and you can't duplicate this. This is something that you can't duplicate it. It's one of a kind, homie. So hit the like button. Hit the subscribe button. You are in tune with the Realest channel on YouTube. Oh yeah, it's a reason they blackballing Dame, and it ain't got nothing to do with Rockefeller Records. It's a reason why they blackballing Dame Dash, and it ain't got nothing to do with the hip-hop community. Dame Dash is powerful. His journey has taken him beyond entertainment. For all you dudes that want to be entertained and all that. Yeah, for all of you out there that's mad and y'all want somebody to pop, lock, and drop it, Dame Dash has surpassed that. And the download spoke to me today and told me to deliver this message. The information that Dame Dash has is something that can grow the community. It's something that can turn the mind, the thought process of black men in the community that's falling victim to the poison in the food, that's falling victim to the poison in the water. Oh yeah, UNITY. Yeah, yeah. Listen, man. Listen, you feel it. So listen, we gonna go through this receipt right here. We gonna break this down. But as we going through this receipt, I want you to play in your head, UNITY, that's a unity. UNITY. Nah, trust me, you might not have cared about Dame Dash, but the higher-ups and the elites, or they cared about Irv Gotti. They kept an eye on Irv Gotti. The feds and the CIA and the federales, they kept an eye on Irv Gotti. They keep an eye on Dame Dash. And as long as we, attaching Dame Dash to Jay-Z, as long as these rappers and these actors, these Kevin Harts, these Cam'rons, these Jay-Z's, as long as they not financially helping Dame Dash, as long as they not doing that, it's all good. It is what it is, and it'll be what it's gonna be. Salute to the chat.
If you don't know by now, Murda Inc. head Irv Gotti passed away from a stroke at the age of 54 on February 5th, 2025. Recently, his brother Chris Gotti came out and revealed Irv had a stroke while playing poker and eating Chinese food. Here's the clip.
More for days, but again, Irv was a Titan, my brother, one of those ones, and the world is going to be different with him because of the things he was gonna do that he
yes.
Yeah.
Chris, when was your brother diagnosed with diabetes?
Wow. So he's 54. I believe he was diagnosed when he was in his 40s.
Yeah.
Late 40s. But Irv doesn't go to the doctor, so that's why he's so late being diagnosed, right? And then when he finally did go get a real physical and a checkup, he was like, "You're diabetic," and he didn't believe it. My dad.
Type 1, Chris?
Irv was type 1. Irv was type 1, and then it started with type 2, developed into type 1. So my dad was diabetic. He passed at 86. And when we talk about this topic, why it's so dear and sensitive for me, is I watched him suffer the last 3 years of his life. So it's about quality of life. When Dame is talking about being able to be with his kids, it's about quality of life and the way you actually can stay here and keep doing that. We all have to go at one point in time. We just really want to go on our terms.
Yeah, hold on real quick.
And Irv,
hold on real quick.
Sadly enough, he did go on his terms. He just didn't believe it, and he was like, "I'm going to go the way basically I wanted." He ate a bunch of Chinese food.
I want to stop it right there. You need to know something, right? When I'm giving these messages, when I'm producing these downloads The higher ups and the elites are always watching. They always paying attention, and it's always going to be a distraction. It's always going to be smoke and mirrors. Being as though we have grown this platform to a certain level, I can recognize those distractions. I can recognize them smoke and mirrors. You know, where you're gonna get phone calls randomly that you barely even get those phone calls until you giving these messages. You're gonna have trolls in the chat, things of that nature. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna stay focused and we're gonna stay on cue with this message. Now, I'm gonna play this back just a little bit, but it's something that he said that I'm gonna home in on. He said that Irv Gotti didn't like going to the doctor. Oh yeah. I want y'all to let that resonate in your mental Rolodex. I want y'all to keep that right there in the front of your mental Rolodex. You understand what I'm saying? That Irv Gotti is one of those guys that didn't like going to the doctor. All right? Now, let's play this. Let's do this again. Big salute to the chat. Hit the like button.
You're diabetic, and he didn't believe it. You know, my dad.
Type 1, Chris?
Irv was type 1. Irv was type 1. And then it started with type 2, developed into type 1. So my dad was diabetic. He passed at 86. And when we talk about this topic, why it's so dear and sensitive for me, is I watched him suffer the last 3 years of his life. So it's about quality of life. When Dame is talking about being able to be with his kids, it's about quality of life and the way you actually can stay here and keep doing that. We all have to go at one point in time. We just really want to go on our terms. That's how I look at it. And Irv, sadly enough, he did go on his terms. He just didn't believe it, and he was like, I'm going to go the way basically I wanted. He ate a bunch of Chinese food while playing poker and had a massive hemorrhagic stroke, which believe it, and he was like, I'm going to go the way basically I wanted. He ate a bunch of Chinese food while playing poker and had a massive hemorrhagic stroke, which is bleeding on the brain. And then we talked that basically I wanted. He ate a bunch of Chinese food while playing poker and had a massive hemorrhagic stroke, which is bleeding on the brain. He ate a bunch of Chinese food while playing poker and had a massive hemorrhagic stroke, which is bleeding on the brain. And then we talk diabetes, and I know Dame is saying diabetes. Diabetes is not what kills you. It's always something else. It's what diabetes does to the body that actually takes your life.
Now, I want to show y'all something before I get into this first angle right here, right? I want you to take a look at this, at Mark Harperin, whatever his name is, the dog fur that's on this chat. And this is respectfully, because we're going to get into this, right? I want you to look at his eyes. Look at this guy right here. Look at Dane, look at Chris, and look at this guy right here. Look at this guy right here. Look at this guy. Look at this guy right here. And the reason why I point that out, which we are going to get into, is because it's a reason, you know, it's diabolical what these people are doing. It's nasty work. And you're always going to have one or two of these guys, these type of dudes right here, like Mark, that are going to be in the conversation, that are going to be lingering around, that are going to be listening, that are going to be paying attention, because not because they care, not because they care about the black community or they care about black men having strokes or they care about that, but they need to know if we are waking up. They need to know exactly what we are talking about. And I'm going to go deeper into that. It's diabolical. It's diabolical because you got to understand something. These people know what caused diabetes. They know what caused heart failure and heart attacks in our community, and they know why it's happening, and they go around every different angle instead of saying we are poisoning you guys. We are poisoning you. We have poisoned the water. We have poisoned the food. We have made it almost impossible for y'all to get healthy food. So you guys are inevitable. It's inevitable that you guys are going to fall on your face from heart failure or stroke or X, Y, and Z. But instead, they sit around us. They act like they're concerned. They act like they're trying to help. And it's going to take somebody like Grown Man Business TV to point that out. All right, so I want y'all to sit with that. The Chinese food, that man passed away with a plate of poison from the Chinese community right in front of his face. And guess what? He was able to buy that poison right somewhere in his community. He didn't have to go to Chinatown. He didn't have to go to Manhattan. He didn't have to go where the Chinese people live at to get that poison. They made it convenient. They put the Chinese restaurants, they put the Chinese poison right in our communities. Well, all we got to do is walk up the block, walk to the bodega, walk to the Chinese store, walk to the corner store, and it's a Chinese restaurant right there. When you getting 4 cat legs and rice. Yeah, they giving you 4 cat legs and rice. And if you, and yeah, they chop the cat leg up to look just like a chicken wing. And then and after years and years of eating that, years and years, and nobody's want to talk about this. Nobody want to put the finger on this. Nobody want to point the blame. That man said that very casually, and nobody is really breaking that down. So Irv Gotti, a genius in our community, a musical genius, a revolutionary warrior, is deleted with a plate of dog food, a Chinese food, right in front of his face. And y'all gonna wake up tomorrow and y'all gonna go get another plate of 4 wings and rice. See, they put it right in front of your face. So when you see these people in your community, you should be side-eyeing them. You should be asking yourself, why y'all here? What you doing here? Feeding us poison and getting rich off of it. You should go to jail for selling Chinese food in the black community. The same way you go to jail for selling crack. The same way you go to jail for selling heroin. The same way you go to jail for selling fentanyl and all that. The same way you go to jail for selling fentanyl, you should go to jail for selling 4 wings and rice in the black community. Now, let me give y'all a story. Let me run some game on y'all. When I used to go to New York City to do my business, right? I would take the Chinatown bus. I would take the China bus from New York to Virginia. Oh, we was burning that turnpike up. And to make a long story short, one day I was leaving East New York. I took the 3 train all the way to Chinatown to get on the Chinese bus, right? I was rushing, so I didn't get a chance to get anything to eat before I left, and I was starving. I got to the China bus, I brought my ticket, and I asked one of the Chinese people, where is the nearest Chinese restaurant? I was starving. And I was still just like you. I was addicted to the MSG and the rice. I was addicted to the 4 wings and rice. I was addicted to the poison, right? The Chinese lady said, run right up the street. I go up the street to the nearest Chinese restaurant. Now listen, here's where it get real at. Grown Man Business TV, I walk into the Chinese restaurant, right? I go up to the counter. I say, how you doing? Let me get 4 wings and shrimp fried rice, and let me get it in a hurry. And the lady behind the counter, she was confused. Now listen to me. Listen to me. It was 4 Chinamen sitting at a table, right? They all were eating white rice and some noodles, but they was eating white rice. I remember the white rice. It was white. It was starch. It was white rice. So I looked at the guy and I said, hey, man, I'm just trying to order some 4 wings and rice before I catch my bus. This is what changed me. This is a part of the evolution of Grown Man Business TV. The China man looked me right in my face and told me, we don't sell 4 wings and rice out here. Now, mind you, I'm in the heart of the Chinatown. I'm in the heart of the Chinese food. I'm in the heart of the Chinese restaurants. I'm in Chinatown, Manhattan. You know what I'm saying? I mean, if you in New York, my New Yorkers, y'all know, I'm in Chinatown. The signs are in Chinese. All the writings, the streets are in Chinese. So I'm thinking I'm about to get the best Chinese, the best 4 wings and rice I ever laid hands on. He looked me in my face and he said, we don't sell 4 wings and rice in Chinatown. Now, mind you, I'm very articulate. I'm a presentable young man. I'm not sagging my pants and all that. I'm very presentable. So I said, wow, y'all don't sell 4 wings and rice right here in Chinatown? He looked at me and said, no, we sell that in your community. I said, okay. He said, we only sell white rice here. We don't sell fried rice here. And this on my grandmother, this on my father. This on the spirits that look over me. I wouldn't lie to you. He told me directly to my face, they didn't sell 4 wings and rice in their community. And the other 3 Chinese dudes that he was sitting with, they began to giggle. They began to smirk and laugh a little bit because of the shock on my face. Because I was so shocked. I couldn't believe it. And he told me, yo, we don't sell that here. And that's when I began to ask about the fried rice. I began to ask questions. That's when I learned what MSG was. He told me, a Chinese man, respectfully, he told me that rice, fried rice, has MSG in it. MSG talking Madison Square Garden. That's what I thought. MSG, I thought that was for Madison Square Garden and all that. So, he gave me the game and it was up to me to go look into it. And I went and I did my research. I did my due diligence and I learned that MSG is poison. It makes you gain weight. It makes you have high cholesterol. It makes you, it's cancer causing. It's a cancer causing agent. Just so your rice can taste like that, you are ingesting a cancer causing agent. It is poison. And guess what, homie? I turned back around. I went to the counter and I said, let me get beef and broccoli, right? Let me get beef and broccoli on white rice. But I was so nervous that I told her, just give me the vegetables in the rice. I don't want the beef. I look back, Chinese man did one of these. He did one of those. Respectfully. I had to respect it. So the point of that is letting you know that they don't even sell that shit in their community. The food that they sell us in Brooklyn and in our community, in the urban community, they don't even sell that. They don't even eat that. So that's the first angle right there. Irv Gotti died. Irv Gotti had a stroke with a plate of poison from the Chinese community right in front of his face. And we feeding our children this shit. We feeding our babies. We feeding our women. Now, what I want to do is I'm gonna let the receipt play a little bit. I want y'all to hear Dame Dash. I want y'all to hear his passion and his conviction when he talks about this diagnosis, when he talks about this condition that is highly rampant in the black community, but white people mostly is very low. These other communities don't have these problems with these random strokes and, and these heart conditions and all of that. And it's, bruh, and we gonna talk about it. We're not talking about rap beef. That ain't what we talking about. And again, I'm gonna show you the evils lurking around us. The evils. Let's let Dame Dash talk a little bit more. 450 people in the live chat. I need 100 likes in here. I need 100 likes because that's what puts this information in the algorithm. The information they don't want you to talk about. The information they don't want you to know about. That's how we get it in the algorithm. Get 100 likes in here. Tap your screen twice and run up the likes. Man, don't be a hater your whole life. All you got to do is tap your screen twice. That shit don't cost you nothing. And big salute to that China man. I can't ever forget his face. The dudes that was around him, because it was four, their faces come up a blank to me. But that one Chinaman, he stood up. He had the whole China garment on, like he was a monk. He was like a Chinese monk. He was bald-headed. He had a Chinese Caesar. You know when Chinamans, when they cut that Caesar real low? He said, what are you looking for, man? What do you need? And, yo, I just need 4 wings and rice. The China bus, I don't want to miss it. I'm on my way back to Virginia. I don't want to miss the bus, but I'm starving. And he said, 4 wings and rice. And they all started laughing at me. They laughed at me. And I didn't get offended. I said, okay. I said, yeah, 4 wings and rice. He said, yo, we don't sell that here. We don't eat that. We sell that in y'all community. He automatically knew that I wasn't from Chinatown. He automatically knew, looking at a young black man, that I had to be from the urban community. Harlem, the Bronx, Brooklyn, all of the urban areas where they populate these Chinese restaurants at. I said, damn, I said, man, y'all don't eat fried rice? That shit, like, y'all don't eat fried. He said, man, that's not fried rice. It's rice cooked with MSG. Madison Square Garden? I thought that was for Madison Square. I'm from Virginia. I thought that was for Madison Square Garden and all that. A cancer-causing agent. A cancer-causing... Come on, son, that they mixing. It get deeper than the MSG. It get deeper than the shrimp fried rice. All of it is poison. Those little thin beef strips, what the hell is that? You think that's beef? Yo, let me get beef and broccoli and all that. Beef and broccoli. You think those little pieces, let me get the rib tips and what the fuck is that? Rib tips? The fuck is that? That shit is pink. It look like pork. Rib tips. Yeah, let me get the rib tips and the shrimp fried rice. Death and destruction pumped into our community. Big salute to the chat. Now listen to this. First off, look at this guy right here. Look at the evil. Look at the evil in the room.
He does to the body that actually takes your life. Like it broke down his body where it was blockage and going to his brain to create the strokes, but it's all stems from the diabetic issues that comes from diabetes. You know, it may have liver failure, kidney failure, and these are the things that actually consume or take your life. But I don't know anyone that's, and I know we do have a doctor.
The calcium, rough, and you have to watch those strokes because it can clog up your arteries.
Yes.
Got to be taking pills. So I take those pills and I get those examinations. It's just when you, I guess my approach on diabetes, I would say might be lucky because I was diagnosed when I was 15 and for 2-3 months, I was thirsty. Like 2 months, I lost a lot of weight. I thought I had AIDS. So I thought it was something that I wouldn't be able to beat. And what I told God was, if you give me another chance, I'm going to live life to the fullest. So when I finally went to the doctor and they told me I had diabetes, I actually was happy. Like, oh, it's just diabetes. I could take a needle and feel better. So for me, I thought I had so much strength and faith in God that He reversed whatever was and said, "I'll just give you diabetes. I'll take diabetes over the other thing."
Yeah. Sorry, Dr. Dewan from Vanderbilt, thank you for joining us. Talk about what you've heard so far and what messages you'd like to send loud and clear to folks about lifestyle and about diabetes and about stroke.
Sure. Well, thanks for having me. It's good to be with you. First, Chris, I'm sorry for your loss.
Thank you.
Of course, I didn't know Irv, but he's obviously touched so many people. So I'm sorry for your loss and your family. Look, diabetes is a problem.
I wanna, you know what I'm about to do. Let's just lighten up the room real fast. Oh man, listen to me. That is a tremendously good strand of dog fur right there. That's a that's a Shih Tzu, a Golden Retriever, and a Labrador mixed together. That dog fur right there is spectacular. That is the next level of dog fur right there. And I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not gonna lie to you. The way that dog fur is laying to the side right there. I mean, you gotta know something, man. It take a lot. Imagine what it take to get that dog fur to lay down like that. Straight over like that. I'm talking it's stylish, you know what I'm saying? He got that motherfucker laid to the side. Huh? Now I just wanted to throw that out there. That dog fur right, that's a good strip. I don't really like that dog fur right there. I don't really like how that dog fur is receding and going to the back. But that dog fur right there remind me of Clark Kent. That remind me of like Superman or something. That remind me of Clark Kent right there. You know? That dog fur right there look like that look like Superman. He's about to go get with Lois Lane and do all that with, that dog, that's a good strand of dog fur. And when you see a Golden Retriever, when you see a Labrador, when you see a Shih Tzu, when you see a Poodle, when you see these Rottweilers and these Pit Bulls, you got to understand that that's the same type of dog fur. That's dog furring on top of the dog fur. That's dog. Okay, I ain't gonna say no more. Back to the seriousness of the topic at hand. All of a sudden, we got two cavemen in the building. We got two cavemen. We got two Neanderthals. We got two Caucasian white men that are going to come into the situation. They're going to act like, they are sympathetic. Oh, Chris Gotti, I'm so sorry for your loss. I didn't know Irv Gotti. I didn't know, but I just want to let you know and that I'm sorry. My condolences to your family. And listen, diabetes is a problem. Oh. Diabetes is something we've never seen before. The whole time, they already know the cause and the effect, and they know the solution. But they can't tell you the solution. These people they are so great at causing problems, then acting sympathetic and acting like they're sorry, and then turning around and acting like there is no solution. There's no way out. It's a death sentence. Oh, we've been fighting poverty for the last 40 years. Homelessness, it's rampant in America. The whole time, they created the poverty and pain that they are talking about. Oh, it's poverty everywhere. But y'all done did everything possible to make people put them in poverty and put them in pain and put them in public housing. And it's a war on drugs outside. Huh? Grown Man Business TV, would you like to talk about the war on drugs? It's so sad to see the black community falling to crack cocaine, pure dope straight off the brick into the bottles. We don't know what to do about the war on drugs. The whole time, they putting the goddamn drugs in they the ones giving the drugs out. We always find out later in hindsight that it's y'all. It's a war on drugs. Come to find out, you was giving Rick Ross all the goddamn drugs. to fund the war in Nicaragua and all that. Yeah, they was funding the war in Nicaragua with the drug money. And then they come on TV and they come on these platforms and it's a war on drugs. No, to see all of the black people falling and succumbing to crack. Oh, the crack babies. Oh, do you see the crack we have to... So, we got to say this shit, man. And for real, again, ain't nobody on YouTube talking like me. Ain't nobody gonna give y'all this game. You feel me? Everybody beating around the bush. Nah. So we talking about diabetes, right? But I gave y'all 4 or 5 different examples. Oh, it's a war on drugs. The goddamn same drugs y'all gave us. Oh, poverty and pain. It's just so much poverty outside. The same fucking poverty y'all put in the legislative and y'all pass around and y'all make everybody homelessness. It's so much homeless. These people are homeless. The same goddamn homelessness y'all caused in America. And instead of making a solution, they monetize and they capitalize. And then they make you think there is no solution. And they milk the cow the best way they know how. They milking the cow the best way they know how. So right now, right, we talking about diabetes. I just gave y'all 5 examples. But right now we talking about another pandemic, another situation. They know the cause, they know the effect, and they know the solution. But they gonna come on this platform with Dame Dash and Chris Gotti, right, and act like they care. Oh, so sorry for your loss. You know, diabetes is a hell of a problem. We're gonna get deeper into that. Let's let the dog, yeah, you got a good strand of dog fur, but it's evilness behind that. I'm one of the dudes that can see the evilness behind those blue eyes, homie. I know why your eyes is blue. I know why you grow dog fur all over your body and all that. I know that I'm talking to a Sasquatch. I know that I'm talking to a Neanderthal, a caveman. But you know what we gonna do? I'm gonna let you talk. I'm gonna let you put a foot in your mouth. All right? So let's let this dog... Look, check it. Look at the dog fur right there. Yeah, look at the dog fur right there. Go ahead and talk, man.
Big problem here in the United States, and it's not going away. We know that there are a lot of risk factors for strokes. Certainly diabetes is among them. There are other risk factors for strokes. You talk about things like high cholesterol, high blood pressure, or hypertension, even age. We know the older that we get, the more likely we are to suffer from strokes. And so it's not as if it's just diabetes, although that is certainly a very, very important factor. And certainly having good control of one's diabetes, we know that dramatically decreases the risk of stroke.
Yes.
So just run through some basics for folks. What's diabetes 1? What's diabetes 2? And how does diabetes contribute to the prospect of stroke?
You sure you don't want a diabetic to tell you?
And what I wanted to add into that, Mark, was, is it possible to turn it around?
Yeah.
Sure.
Great question.
No.
Yeah.
Dr. Dash says no. Doctor.
Is it possible to turn it around?
Yeah.
Sure.
Great question.
No.
Is it possible to turn it around?
Yeah.
Sure.
Great question.
No.
Is it possible to turn it around?
Yeah.
Sure.
Great question.
No.
Dr. Dash says no.
Around.
All right, Doctor.
Yeah, there's not an easy fix, but briefly.
Let's stop right there. He asked them, is it possible to turn it around? Now, we're going to get deeper into this. I want y'all to understand it's levels to this. And they all said no. Even Dame Dash, he said no. because Dame has been poisoned with certain ideologies as well. You understand what I'm saying? But both of these dog fur having men, these Caucasian men, said no. They said no. Now, you again, like I said, they know the cause, they know the effect, but they don't ever want to know the source. They don't never want to know the solution, because that would stop Big Pharma. Oh, one of the things you don't ever want to do, and that's word to Dr. Sebi, is get in front of, stop the bottom line of Big Pharma. Now, these guys say there is no cure for this, right? But Dr. Sebi says he can cure you in 27 days. Dr. Sebi could cure you of diabetes in less than a fucking month. Now we gonna go to a whole nother range with this. Now we about to go on to a whole nother level with this particular situation. Dr. Sebi said that he could cure you of AIDS, cancer, diabetes in less than a month. And guess what happened to Dr. Sebi? We all know what happened to Dr. Sebi, right? We all know. Just like Nikola Tesla, Dr. Sebi, these men that come up with these ingenious ideas and to move us forward as a society, they get eliminated by the higher up in the elites. They get eliminated by the dog fur. Oh, we gonna talk today. I wanna, before we get into that, Dame Dash is a black man that influences the urban community. And they spoke on something earlier about black men being not going to the doctor. Black men being afraid to go to the doctors or choosing not to go to the doctors. Irv Gotti was one of those men that chose not to go and go to the doctor. And again, the cause and effect and the solution to these situations. You know what I'm saying? I'm about to show you the cause and effect of that, because I think it's absolutely diabolical. And I think that it's disgusting work that, again, the dog fur, these people will do the most savage things to us and then wonder why. The cause is what you do, and then the effect is now black men don't like going to the doctors. Black men are nervous, are skeptical. It's in our DNA not to trust you. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about that before we go into Dr. Sebi. Because, yes, we're going to talk about that. Because y'all are scared to give this game up, I don't mind doing it. You know what? It's a beautiful thing. And you got to understand something. Once you learn the algorithm, once you understand what you are dealing with when it comes to YouTube, when it comes to these portals, right? What you will understand is we are not considered a big platform yet. Coming up on 40,000 subscribers in the grand scheme of YouTube, we are a pretty small platform still. So I can say what I want. I can expose the higher ups and the elites and not have to worry about Big Pharma, not have to worry about, real consequences coming behind it. But when you get 1 million subscribers, when you got 500,000 subscribers, when you got 800,000 subscribers, when you got 5 million subscribers, and you talk like I'm talking, they might come and get you. The men in black might end up knocking on your door and all that. So I'm taking full advantage of this. They spoke on black men not wanting to go to the doctor. Black men waiting too late to go to the doctor. But we don't ever want to talk about Tuskegee and all that. We don't ever really want to put a finger and connect the dots between the Tuskegee syphilis studies and right now, present day. Yeah, I said it. The Tuskegee syphilis studies. Do y'all know anything about that in the chat? Do y'all know that back in the day, these same doctors, the same government that we pay taxes to, was poisoning our ancestors, coming down to Alabama and Tuskegee and all that, Mississippi, telling us they was gonna help us and it was free health care, and then sticking us with poisonous and venomous and virus had needles. Come on, son. And then wonder why the ancestors, you know, the great grandkids of our ancestors psychologically and subconsciously don't fuck with the doctors, and we don't trust the doctors. Why would we trust y'all? Oh, and it get deeper than the Tuskegee. I'm gonna talk about the other side of it, but I'm gonna show y'all and I'm gonna play some receipts. Because again, these dog fur having people, they come in front of us, they act like they empathize and they care about our well-being. The whole time, these dog fur having men know everything about the Tuskegee syphilis studies. So they say, oh, these guys are scared to go to the doctors. Black men don't want to go to the doctors, and we don't know why. We don't know why black men don't want to go to the doctors. You know why. Yeah, we know all the stories. We heard all the stories about y'all poisoning our ancestors, sticking them with dirty needles and all that, lying to them. The same ancestors y'all was supposed to be giving them land and freeing them from slavery, and we paying taxes and shit in America, and y'all sticking them with needles that's infected with syphilis, so y'all can see what syphilis does to the... Come on, man. Come on, man. Y'all wasn't doing that in the Caucasian community. And I'm going to say something real quick. I'm going to stay on track, but it's not hair. This is hair right here. Hair is coarse. Hair gets nappy. Hair defines the laws of gravity. Dog fur smells like a sheep or a Labrador or a golden retriever when it get wet. You ever ask yourself as a Caucasian person, why do your hair smell like dog fur when it get wet? You ain't never asked yourself that question? It smell like a wet dog in here. It's because your fur got wet. So, you know, I know, I know. Listen, man. I'm smarter than the majority of you cavemen. Your eyes are blue because you come from the Caucasus Mountains. But did you know that black women are the only women on the face of the planet Earth that have the Eve gene? Our women, black women, have something called an Eve gene. That means we could produce each and every color in the color spectrum. Two absolutely black men, a man and a woman, a black man and a black woman, could produce an albino child that looks white with blue eyes. So our blue eyes and your blue eyes are two totally different things. Your blue eyes come from a lack of melanin and your ancestors being in the Caucasus Mountain as cavemen. Our blue eyes come from something called an Eve gene. Black women are the only women that can create each and every color in the color spectrum. White women can't produce black children. Asian women can't produce black children. Puerto Rican can't produce a black child. But black women can produce each and every type of race. It's called the Eve gene. Do your research. So I see you in the chat. Oh, it's not hair. That shit sheds like a dog. Your fur sheds like an animal. Respectfully. Now let's get back onto this. It's called the Tuskegee Syphilis Studies. Let's run some receipts. Big salute to the chat. Hit the like button, man. I need 200 likes in here. Hit the like button. Watch this.
Quick Black History. In 1932, the Tuskegee experiment was established. The program deceptively enrolled 600 black men into a syphilis study under the pretenses of free health care by the Public Health Service. Even after penicillin became available in 1947, it was withheld using placebos instead. This led to numerous deaths, and the experiment ran until 1972, profoundly damaging the trust of the black community towards doctors, health services, and vaccines. The aftermath led to congressional hearings and a $10 million settlement. Follow for more. Quick Black History. In 1932, the Tuskegee experiment was established. The program deceptively enrolled 600 black men into a syphilis study under the pretenses of free health care by the Public Health Service. Even after penicillin became available in 1947, it was withheld using placebos instead. This led to numerous deaths, and the experiment ran until 1972, profoundly damaging the trust of the black community towards doctors, health services, and vaccines. The aftermath led to congressional hearings and a $10 million settlement. Follow for more. Quick Black History. In 1932, the Tuskegee experiment was established. The program deceptively enrolled.
Now I want to stop right there, right? So again, when you talking about black men not wanting to submit to these doctors, which are predominantly white doctors, you know what I'm saying? And not wanting to trust the word of these physicians, right? It's because of this right here. So again, when we even talk about reparations, when we talk about just due, right? You know, that is something that psychologically affects us to this day, that happened years ago, that we wasn't even around for, but is stitched in our DNA. It's stitched in our DNA. You know, when you go to the doctor, you get that feeling, bro. It's like a feeling. It's like a scared feeling, bro. And you don't know where it comes from. As going to the doctor to maintain your health, to make sure that you are healthy and you can live long, should not give you a fear. It should not make you feel uncomfortable. It should not make you feel the frequencies that we feel when we go into those doctor's offices. And you want to know why we feel that? Look at this right here. Look at this dog fur having Neanderthal. Look at his wife right here. The wife, his wife is holding the arm. Look at what they did to our ancestors, bro. And see, that's why I'm not one of the dudes you could ever trick with the dog fur, the female. I don't deal with that dog fur. I want my woman to be black. I want a full Negro, yeah, foundational black American. I want the cornrows under the. That's what I want. I get the same feeling around white women that I get around doctors and all that. I get the same feeling around white women that I get around police officers. It's like a feeling, homie, like my life is in danger. Like my antennas stand up, like Emmett Till and all that. So I ain't one of them ones. I ain't Martin Luther King. You can't trick me with the blonde fur and the blue eyes, because it ain't hair. It's blonde fur and blue eyes. I ain't one of them ones. I don't want the dog fur around me. But let me show you. This is when we actually might have had some trust for y'all. This is when black people had trust. Come to find out, y'all was poisoning us. So when people talk about, you know, the distrust between the black community and doctors, it's because society has allowed these devils, these Neanderthals, to take advantage of us on every level, homie. There was nowhere that we were safe in America. Not even in the doctor's office, not even the court of law. I want to give y'all another story, right? We're not gonna make it long because we're gonna move into the next angle with this. when I was growing up, I'm an 80s baby. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, the 80s, I was born in the 80s and the 90s raised me. You know, the 90s is where I was raised at. You know what I mean? And, you know, the AIDS epidemic, you know, we heard Dame Dash just talk about when he was losing weight, he was sick. He didn't go to the doctor. He thought he had AIDS and he was scared. You know what I'm saying? He finally went to the doctor and found out that he only had diabetes and it was something that he could handle. But it's hard to explain the fear of AIDS when that shit came out. You know what I'm saying? Like HIV, AIDS, that was something, bro, that installed a certain amount of fear in us to where people started wearing condoms. You got to know there was no such thing as condoms before AIDS. Like nobody, I mean, I wasn't having sex, but I'm sure like my uncles and my fathers and my grandfathers, they didn't know nothing about condoms, bro. They wasn't with that. Yeah, they was going in raw dog. Yeah, grandma probably had 5 or 6, 13 children because everything was raw dog. But when that HIV came, right, they scared the shit out of us with HIV. It was like a death sentence, right? And I mean, they took it to another level with the propaganda when they put Magic Johnson in front of us. And they even told us that Magic Johnson, one of our greatest, you know, basketball players, had fucking AIDS. You know, I mean, you know, you could live through anything if Magic made it. Magic ain't never had AIDS. That was a plot twist. That was the nail in the coffin to get the black community to fall in line and start wearing condoms, to slow down the reproductive. That's a whole nother live stream. Yeah, they didn't want Nana having 13 children because they understood that in due time we would control the political landscape. Our vote in the next 20 years would be powerful and more powerful than their vote. So they implemented the AIDS virus to slow down women having babies, to make men wear condoms and slow down. So now think about it. When the last time you seen a female with 5 children? When the last time you seen a woman with 10 kids like Nana used to have, like grandma used to have? They might have 1, 2, maybe 3 tops. Black women, maybe 3 children tops, but all maybe 1 or 2. That's it. That was a political play played against the, you know, foundational black Americans, right? But what's my point? Let me get to the point. So I remember just people being scared and getting diagnosed. Yo, she got AIDS, yo. And yo, I heard she got HIV. That shit was like a thing, bro. You know what I'm saying? It really spooked me because I was like, hell no, right? You know, it's a death sentence. We understood that if your ass got the AIDS, your ass was gonna die. That's it. If your ass got the AIDS, your ass was gonna die, right? Now, fast forward 20 years later. I'm a young man. I'm 24, 25 years old, and I'm doing my research and doing my due diligence. I finds out that a high percentage of the black people that was diagnosed with AIDS in the 90s, in the late 80s and early 90s were falsely diagnosed. Did y'all know that? Did y'all know that the majority of people that was diagnosed with the HIV virus did not have it? The same way they did with the COVID, where people was going into the doctor, they was saying, hey, you got the virus, or hey, X, Y, and Z. And then come to find out, you do the same test on a mango when they say the mango got the damn COVID virus. You do the same test on a dog and say the dog had the virus. It was the same fucking play they ran with that virus. They had already ran it with the HIV situation, but we didn't have this technology. We didn't have nobody giving pure dope straight off the brick into the bottles. So it shocked me, bro. Listen to what I'm saying to you. It shocked me when I found out that all those people had went to the doctors, been falsely diagnosed with AIDS, and then they died because once the doctor tell you, listen, sir, you have AIDS, your mind is going to, you're gonna self-destruct. The body is so powerful that as soon as your mind believes that you have AIDS and that you're going to die, your body is going to kill itself and you're going to die. So most people didn't even have AIDS. They thought they had it because a doctor that they trusted, a doctor that looked just like this right here, told them that they had AIDS. And then their body started to decompose and die and shut down. And in due time, they lost all this weight because our minds are powerful. Our bodies are infinite. They are powerful. So now because you believe it, you can achieve it. Because you believe that you got the HIV virus because a white man told you you got the HIV virus, now your body will achieve the HIV virus and you will pass away. Same thing with cancer. Same thing with cancer. You know how many people have been falsely diagnosed with cancer? Let me tell you something. If you ever go to a doctor and they tell you, listen, ma'am, I'm sorry to tell you this, but you have stage 4 cancer. You only have 5 months to live. I would suggest you go get a second and a third recommendation. I would suggest you go to 4 or 5 more doctors and have them tell you the same fucking thing. And I mean in different states. Go to Atlanta to a black doctor and let that black doctor tell you the same thing. Then go somewhere else to Texas or go here or go there. Spend the money and go to 5 or 6 different doctors. Because out of those 5 or 6 different doctors, right, it's going to be a Dr. Sebi. It's going to be a natural herbalist that's going to tell you, oh, we could fix that, man. We have you cancer-free in 12 months. But this is what you got to do. You got to change your diet. You got to stop eating salt. You got to stop eating sugar. You got to stop eating the poison. How about this? We're going to fly you to Mexico. We're going to put you in one of our camps for the next 12 months, and your ass will be cancer-free. But if you go to one of these dog fur having doctors and they say, oh, you have stage 8 cancer, you only have 3 weeks to live, and you believe it, then fucking you will achieve it. And I say all that to say this, man. That's what, it wasn't even just the syphilis studies, right? For me, I had learned about that. It was the AIDS situation that really affected me. Because that's the generation I grew up in. I grew up in watching Eazy-E die in fucking 30 days because they said he had AIDS. I grew up watching Magic Johnson get on a panel and tell us he had AIDS and he didn't die. I watched people go from fully, 280 pounds, and then they go to a doctor and the doctor said you got AIDS, and in 3 weeks, this same person is 96 pounds. And then to grow up and become a fully grown adult, have technology, now have access to what we are talking about, which is HIV, and to learn that over 50% of those same people didn't even have the disease. You know what I mean? Like they was falsely diagnosed. How the fuck can a doctor falsely diagnose you? Biological warfare. I told you it's a war going on outside. I told you it's a war going on outside no man is safe from. It's a physical war. It's a spiritual war. It's a biological war. Yeah. We are God body. So when we get in the presence of evil, we can feel it. We are God body. So when we get in the presence of somebody who is not connected to a spiritual realm of a being that's not connected to the cosmos, we can feel it. That's why when you go in those doctor's offices, you feel it. Oh, how are you doing, ma'am? We just coming and gonna just check you out. Notice how babies always cry around doctors. Babies go ham when they get in a fucking doctor office. My son, bro, Yo, whenever we walk into the doctor's office, he instantly, I don't know, I think it's the smell. He knows exactly what's going on. At 2, 3 years old, my son, I'm talking, they got toys and shit all in the waiting room. And it's easy to get your kid and say, oh, go over there and play and let's play with. My son don't want to touch nothing in the doctor's office. And it tears me up because I know he right. I know he's right. You understand what I'm saying? And we are forcing ourselves and we are forcing our children to bend, break, and fold for the matrix. And I'm looking at him and I know he right. And he looking at me and he's saying, Dad, what the fuck going on in here? I don't want to. And it's nasty work. The majority of the people that had AIDS didn't even have it. It was all a play. It was all a scheme. The majority of the people that they said died from the COVID didn't even die from the COVID. They were smoking their ass inside them hospitals. They were shoving those respirator tubes down your throat and getting rid of your ass and telling the people, oh, he couldn't breathe, so he shoved the respirator tube down his throat. And all the people we lost in that pandemic. I know the title say 50 Cent Wars with Murda Inc. and Irv Gotti. I know the title says rap beef. But understand something, it get deep, it get wicked, and it's always deeper than rap. Always. Let's talk. Big salute to the chat.
To see the doctor to give us a chemical when the Bible said the herbs are for the healing. Africa, way over here, we fit America. What happened between hair and hair? A lot happened. You see, when we were hair, without the mathematics, without the ABC, without the sciences, we had something to our advantage that we no longer have here. We are blind hair. Hair we weren't. We were seeing. Why? Because God provided us with everything we needed here. And none of it was comfrey or rice and beans. They were not so full. There were no soy there. There were no cow. And there were no hog. No chicken. There were no flour. Those things didn't come from Africa. You see rice and beans and flour and cheese and meat and the starch that you eat, they all came from right here, from a laboratory. Now, for us to eat, you have to have the understanding of biochemistry. But when we were here, we didn't have to know anything about biochemistry. Why? Because God doesn't make poison. That the great Hippocrates used herbs to cure disease. This man was curing every disease in Greece. 365 years before Christ was even born. If Jesus cured with herbs, Hippocrates cured with herbs, and God said the herbs, then what's up? Why aren't we curing with herbs today?
For centuries.
Why aren't we curing with herbs today? This is where I'm going to round this message off, right? Why are we not curing with herbs today? Because Big Pharma, these reptilians, bro. These reptiles, B. I know it's hard to believe. I know you never heard nobody call it dog fur before. You know what I'm saying? They used to tell us it was good hair. You know what I mean? So when I say reptilians, when I say dog fur, I know you never really heard it like this before. And it's okay. Take your time with it. Digest it. Ask yourself why that fur smell like a goddamn dog when it get wet with rainwater. Because it's not hair, it's fur, right? But Big Pharma is ran by them same people. Reptilians with dog fur. Shapeshifters. Motherfuckers with human outer bodies, but on the inside, the motherfucker look like the Predator. They look like a caveman and all that. Aliens. Extraterrestrials, whatever you want to call them. They run this matrix. And the last thing they want you to do is to understand that all of the herbs and everything that will heal our bodies naturally is right there in the forest, right there in Mother Nature. All we ever had to do was go to the mother. All we ever had to do as children, when we cut our arm, or as children, when we need nourishment, right? Where do we go? To our mothers. As babies, when we need nourishment, we go and get breast milk from our mothers, nourishment. So why is it that when we get older, we run to a white man to heal us instead of running to Mother Nature? It's all right there in front of you. They can't hide this shit. The universal laws say they got to tell you what it is. Mother Nature has produced each and everything that we need, homie. But now you got Big Pharma. You got Big Pharma telling you that diabetes is unreversible. You got Big Pharma telling you that, yeah, you got the HIV and you gonna die tomorrow. You got Big Pharma telling you, listen, man, you got stage 3 cancer and you ain't gonna live another 6 months. You got Big Pharma telling you every lie to keep you on these pills, to keep you on Percocets, to keep you on Valiums, to keep you on all these pills, to keep you taking radiation. Imagine that. Imagine that. You sick, right? We gonna give you radiation to your body to heal you. So we gonna kill you just to heal you. So we gonna get rid of this right here, but all your hair gonna fall out, your teeth gonna fall out. You gonna lose 85 pounds, but you'll be okay. When all you got to do is follow a Dr. Sebi. Imagine if it was 30 Dr. Sebis. Imagine if the dog fur didn't kill every Dr. Sebi we come across. Imagine that. Imagine if the dog fur didn't kill every Dr. Sebi. You think there was just one doctor? No, it was multiple Dr. Sebis. It was multiple herbologists, dudes that use herbs to heal us. They always end up 6 feet under. They always end up deleted. Because yeah. So the key is acknowledging it. We got cures. Let's go a little deeper, right? I was having a conversation with somebody. Everything that we create is already in nature. Mother Nature has already created it. Yo, I can't. I'm telling you, the downloads are so powerful. Everything that we invent and everything that we create, Mother Nature has already created it. Let me give you some examples. A sperm whale. A submarine is only a sperm whale recreated. A submarine is a sperm whale. We looked at a sperm whale. We said, how did this animal go underwater? How did this animal do what it do? And we recreated it, and out comes a submarine. A helicopter is nothing but a firefly. A helicopter is the creation of somebody looking at a firefly and saying, how does that firefly transport itself like that? How can we recreate that kind of transportation? Here comes a helicopter. Now, do you get my drift? Everything we create has already been created by Mother Nature. So you got to know that mankind is trying to be God. Mankind, because I can't call him man because we are the original man, and the Caucasian man is mankind. That means like kind of like a man. Y'all never even really thought about that. Mankind means kind of like, like kind of, you like a man a little bit, but you got that dog in you, and you got that pig and chicken splice all in your DNA and all that. So you ain't really man, you're mankind. Mankind has looked at Mother Nature, and instead of saying, We all need to go to Mother Nature. We all need to learn from Mother Nature. The people like Dr. Sebi that thrive in Mother Nature, we need to allow them to go to Mother Nature and learn all of the medicines, all of the remedies, all of the black magic. They need to learn all of this so we can use it. Yeah, I said black magic. You got to ask yourself, why do they look down and why do they demonize black magic when that shit is real as can be and it is powerful? Because they don't understand it. They have no melanin. They are not connected to the cosmos. So black magic, they're fearful. So instead of going to Mother Nature, we're going to go to the man and let him create medicine, create pills, create Tylenol, create bullshit. I mean, you got to understand that the message is real. It's powerful. There's no way around this. There's no way. They mimic everything that Mother Nature produces naturally for us. And they hide. They hide everything that Mother Nature produces naturally for us, and then they poison the recreation. They recreate this shit, and then they poison it. Well, Mother Nature said, eat this meat right here is grass-fed. They make sure we don't get the grass-fed meat, and they start making, artificial steaks and all that. Oh, we made artificial meat. We have lab-made meat, and we're gonna feed it. Come on, son. It's revolutionary. The shit will be televised. It's really wartime. Let's go into another story. Big salute to the chat. Hit the like button, man. I need 200 likes in here. And notice how the dog fur in the chat feel a certain type of way. Notice that if somebody was saying nappy-headed monkeys or nappy-headed monkeys that like bananas, these same dog fur having people wouldn't feel away. Do y'all remember when we grew up and they said, oh, you guys have nappy hair. Your hair is nappy. This is good fur that we had. They called it hair, but I say fur, right? In all those years, we grew up believing that they had good hair and our hair was nappy. They was okay with that. Everything was fine and dandy when we let that shit ride, right? Now that I'm telling the truth, now that I'm telling you the real reason why that fur smell like a dog when it get wet with rainwater. Why would rainwater make your dog fur smell like Lassie and all that? Now you got a problem and you feel insulted and you got an issue with that. Well, it is what it is and it'll be what it's going to be, right? Let's go into a story. Being as though I'm an 80s baby, right? I was born in the late 19th century. Yeah, I like how that sounds. Think about how old that make you sound when you tell people you was born in the late 19th century, right? Being as though I was born in the late 19th century, I remember when you could go to like the pet store or you could go to certain stores and they had like a seed aisle. Do y'all remember that, where you can go and buy organic, real seeds? Like whatever plant you wanted to grow, whatever grass, whatever kind of plant that you could think of, they had seeds. And in these packets of seeds, it was actually be like dirt and shit in there with the seeds because these seeds came directly from a farm, directly from the earth. This is before GMOs. This is before organic seeds and non-organic. All of this shit was just organic. There was no such thing or in between. There was no GMO or lab-made seeds and then organic. Like, notice how you don't see that anymore. Notice how when I was a kid, bro, I'm so lucky and blessed to be born in the late 19th century. I'm so blessed that I was born before cell phones came because being an older man, I can do the contrast. I can contrast before cell phones and after cell phones. I can contrast before they started really poisoning the food to now. Before McDonald's got compromised, McDonald's was an amazing place to eat at. The Big Macs and shit. Yo, do you remember when the Whopper was fucking big? It was a big ass Whopper, bro. I used to get the Whopper from Burger King with no tomatoes, right? And I used to always want it cut in half. And that shit was huge. It was 99 cents. The Whopper, me and my friends used to ride our bike to Ocean View, salute to Norfolk, Virginia, First View and Ocean View by the beach. And we would go to Burger King and we would get Whoppers. They didn't even have a Whopper Junior. It was a fucking Whopper for 99 cents. Big ass burger, bro. I would buy one, eat it there, and I would buy one and take it home. $2. You know, we would plant seeds. They have literally gotten rid of all the natural seeds, put them in a bunker out there in Antarctica, and then gave us these GMO genetically made seeds and all that. So even if you go and grow a garden, you are growing a garden of genetically GMO full plants, if you know it or not. They got us in a figure four. They got us in a Ford Nelson. There is no way around this shit. It's demonic, bro. And it's war. It's a declaration of war. We supposed to been with the war with an establishment. And when you can think about the good old days, yeah, and you could do the contrast, it's sickening. Yeah, man. Me and my friends used to go to the pet store. We would buy bags of seeds, man. Bags. Apples, this, pears, fruit, all kind of shit. And we would try to grow them. I'm talking natural seeds from the farms out there in Virginia. I'm talking, it would have dirt still in the bag with it. With all that being said, let's not ignore the cause and effects. Let's not act like we don't know why a genius like Irv Gotti lost his life so early at 54 years old with a plate of Chinese food right in front of his goddamn face. Let's not act like we don't know why everybody side-eye the doctors, why everybody is nervous and scared of the frequency of these doctors, these satanic physicians. Man, I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm one of them. I'm one of them. I'm one of the ones. And again, it was the AIDS situation. When I found out that that the majority of the people that got diagnosed with AIDS didn't even have the AIDS, they was falsely diagnosed. That shit altered my life. It altered my whole thought process on the medical system, on doctors. Martin Luther King went into that hospital. He went into that hospital alive and breathing. We already know what they did to him. Tupac Shakur, when he got shot 5 times in New York City, the only thing he was worried about was getting out of that hospital. He wasn't worried about somebody shooting him again. He wasn't worried about Haitian Jack. He wasn't worried about none of them dudes out there. He said the doctors is going to poison him. Ask Tretch. Tretch said it. Tupac wasn't worried about nothing but those satanic, demonic doctors putting something in his IV. Putting something in my IV. I think they're killing me. Tupac used to say that. I think they're killing me. You know, me personally, right? And I see that with the private doctors. I think that, and I believe this wholeheartedly, and I'm gonna say this. A lot of the doctors that black people should go to, I believe, is in Atlanta, Georgia. I believe that if you are sick or you have an issue or somebody has diagnosed you somewhere with 6 months to live or something like that, I believe you should go to Atlanta, Georgia. You should do your due diligence and you should find a black physician in Atlanta, Georgia. I've heard a lot of stories about black men having cancer, having prostate cancer, having X, Y, and Z, and being able to beat it. Multiple. I've talked to multiple black men that have overcome the diagnosis that these demonic physicians have given them out in Atlanta, Georgia. Now, what I want to end with, big salute to the chat. The main and the most important thing that you can do at this point, right? And I do it. I'm like mine's is unorthodox, but I'm gonna figure out a real routine. But right now it's unorthodox. But from me to you, I'm gonna close with this: fasting. Listen to me. We are at a point in American history where they have us in a cobra clutch. They got us so beat. They got us so far in where everything is poison. Everything is fucking poison. So the only real way to reverse it at this point, if you ask me, is moderation and fasting. I ain't telling you not to eat no food or drink no water, but you need to do it in small bits, small portions, moderation, right? And then you need to, at least 2 days to 3 days a week, you need to fast. That means don't eat nothing but a little bit of fruit if you just want to munch on some grapes or some fruit just to hold you over, but don't eat no food. And get to the point where you can fast 3, 4, 5 days out the month with no food. Fasting, bro. Because what happens is you think you eating organic, that shit ain't organic. You eating salads where all the salad got pesticides on it. You eating fruit, but all the fruit got pesticides on it. Like, and if it don't got pesticides on it, it was grown with a seed that has been compromised. So whatever you eating is poison, right? When you fast, when you just don't eat, drink some water, eat a little bit of fruit, you know what I mean, if that's what you need, but, try not to drink, drink a little water, keep yourself hydrated, whatever, but fast, right? One of the things I like is broth, chicken broth, beef broth. It's like a soup. It's like liquid that tastes like chicken noodle soup, but there's nothing in it. It's called broth, right? But when you fast, what happens is your body starts to eat itself. Your body starts to eat itself. So you're not eating, but your body still needs energy. So it will now start to eat the fat. Now, let's just say you somebody like me that don't have a high percentage of fat. I'm very slim, physique, muscular, right? Well, whatever bad cells that you have in your body, if it's cancerous cells, if it's not, if it's just bad cells in your body will, first thing your body's going to eat is those bad cells. The first thing your body is going to destroy is cancerous and bad cells. So let's say you don't eat no food for 5 days. Now your body, after the second day, your body is hungry. Your body is going to start to consume itself. But your body not going to consume the good muscle, the good cells, the things that are helping and contributing to the better good of your body. It's going to start to instantly eat all the bullshit, all the cancer, all the nastiness in your body. It will digest and get rid of it. So think about it like this, right? I'm telling you, man, I'm an 80s baby, so the downloads are different. Think about when they used to tell us to eat 3 times a day. Think about how devilish that is. They gave us a food chart with eggs and cheese and milk. Who the fuck told y'all to drink cow milk? Eggs, cheese, cow milk. I mean, the fact that a lot of us was even drinking cow milk just says a lot. But a fucking cow. You'll never see a cow drinking breast milk from your mama. You ever try to give a cow your mama breast milk? The cow look at you like you crazy, but somehow, some way, we think it makes sense to drink the fucking breast milk out the cow. But whatever, right? They told us to eat in the morning. They told us to eat in the evening, and they told us to eat at night. Now, that's a lot of fucking food, man. If you eat in the morning and then you eat in the evening, your body has not fully digested the food in the morning. And then you turn around and eat at night, and now you, come on, son. That's where all the sickness come from. The fucking eating. I'm at a point now with me where I'll go a few days, I don't really eat that much. I might eat once a day, and it's really small because I don't be hungry like that. I realized it was like I was brainwashed. I was hypnotized. But really, I don't be hungry in the morning time. In the morning time, I might drink a coffee. I could drink a coffee, bro, and not eat for the rest of the day. The coffee got sugar in it, got a little bit of cream in it. Like, I don't really be hungry. I forget my stomach. Y'all don't never notice. Sometimes I be talking to y'all and my stomach will growl. I seen people in the chat say, yo, was that your stomach? Yeah. Yeah, that's when I know I'm hungry. That's when I really know I'm hungry, when my stomach gets the growling and shit. Other than that, I'm not hungry. Fasting is the only way out. Back in the day, you could eat salads and shit, right? You know what I'm saying? Get you some Pediasure. Get you some Pediasure. That shit is really good. If you could drink a Pediasure with all the vitamins in it, and that right there is like a meal. But you know, they told us to eat a bunch of bullshit in the morning. Really, you ain't supposed to really eat in the morning. Then they told us to eat a big lunch. Oh, get the lunch. Then they turned around and said, get steak dinner. You done ate 3 times in one day. And nah, I'm not bugging. Yo, my max weight is like 165. I don't like to get to 165. I like to stay more at 160 to 155. That's my max weight where I'm like cut up. And I learned and I've seen that I keep my weight. I eat a little bit of food, man. I keep my weight, man. I don't got to eat a bunch of shit. I don't need meat and all that for protein. But every now and then I eat some of this and some of that. Bruh, you got to understand something. You eating salad, that shit is poison. If it's organic, it's still poison. The most organic thing you gonna get is this content that I'm giving you. Ain't no food organic. Ain't no fruit organic. That's another way for them to get the money out your pockets. So again, I'm gonna leave y'all with this. Start training your mind to fast, homie. Start training your mind and training your body to go a day without eating. Try one day. Go get you some Pediasure. Go get you some Pediasure, and if you feel hungry, drink a Pediasure. Start like that. Start with one day. And then the next day, eat a small portion of food, and then don't eat nothing else. And what I guarantee you is you will burn all. If you are overweight, your ass will be slim as hell in a month. You will lose all that weight in 30 days. Because if you're not eating food, then your body has to eat itself. Now, with that being said, we're going to close out. Big salute to the chat, man. We are well over 30,000 subscribers. We are actually over 35,000. We are at 223,000 subscribers right here on this channel. We are approaching 40K. Understand something. Sometime I'm going to have to put the medicine in the ice cream. I know a lot of y'all thought that we was going to talk about 50 Cent over here. We was going to talk about the beef and hip hop wars and all that. We might do that tonight. I might double back tonight and we might talk about that. But this message, these messages, these downloads are powerful. They're powerful, B. They are poisoning our communities. They are poisoning our warriors, our war generals, our women, our children with this Chinese food. with all this bullshit that they pump into our community. And then they act like they don't know, and they act like they want a solution, and they act like they want to help. R.I.P. to Irv Gotti, R.I.P. to Nipsey Hussle, and R.I.P. to Dr. Sebi. R.I.P. to them. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, Lord willing, God willing, the Most High will put me in a position to continue to get his game and maybe, you know, fill the shoes of a Nip Hussle or a Dr. Sebi with this pure dope straight off the brick into the bottles. You know, we don't most of the time we are not asking for these positions. We are put in these positions. And I didn't ask for this with this Grown Man Business TV. You know, the ancestors was talking to me, and I'm so thankful to have a voice on this platform for however long we gonna have this platform, you know, to have a voice and to understand that my intentions are pure. Irv Gotti lost his life, and I don't think it was a big enough celebration. I don't think it was a big enough talk. I don't think it was a big enough connecting of the dots of a man like Irv Gotti dying of 2 strokes at the age of 54. I don't think we talking about that enough. I mean, I didn't see Jay-Z. I didn't see none of these dudes. I don't see nobody putting funding and money behind Dame Dash where he could start doing more and talking more about this diabetes shit. I don't, you know, Nipsey Hussle said he was going to do a whole documentary because the same diseases they telling us we can't reverse and we got to live with and we got to die with, Dr. Sebi was curing. He was curing AIDS and HIV and diabetes and cancer in 26 days. He went to the Supreme Court justice and won. Why is nobody talking about that? Dr. Sebi won in the Supreme Court. Proved them wrong. Multiple different people saying that they had been cured by his remedies and they killed them, and we ain't go to war about that. So listen, man, you already know what time it is, man. It's your boy Grown Man Business TV. You feel what I'm saying? Listen, man, you can tap in and you can tap out, but you know my slogan. You know what I suggest. And I suggest that you tap in. I suggest you tap into this grown man business. I suggest you tap into this grown man content at all times. You already know what it is. Straight off the brick into the bottles. Straight off the brick into the bottles. I'm going to give you that pure, raw, uncut, no extras, no preservatives. We ain't sugarcoat nothing. We ain't dressing nothing up. This is pure dope. Straight off the brick into the bottles. No baking soda, no quinine, no fentanyl. We not cutting this shit, and we ain't tap dancing on none of this information. Always understand when them people is in the same room with us, they already know their ancestors poisoned us. They already know their ancestors enslaved us. They already know their ancestors was hanging us from trees and murdering and killing us. They already know that. They know that. So if they ain't willing to go to war with their own people, they are not friends to us. They are puppets. They are distractions. They are smoke and mirrors. Oh, yeah, you know, war on drugs. You know, our government friends been giving the drugs. Yeah. You know we did that to fund the war in Nicaragua and all that. Oh, the war on poverty. Homelessness. It's a food shortage. But they burning down all the farms and they poisoning all the food. And yeah, it's a food shortage. So I'm not the one that's going to let you come in my circumference, come in my circle and confuse me. You know what I'm saying? I know a lot of y'all, man, when you look into those puppy dog eyes. Yeah, I said puppy dog. You know, when you look into them puppy dog eyes, and you brush and feel that dog fur, you just become seduced. You just become brainwashed. You willing to do anything for your pet. Now, I ain't willing to do all that. I don't want no dog fur around me. Period. So listen, man, you already know what time it is, man. It's your boy, Grown Man Business TV. You feel what I'm saying? You can tap in, you can tap out. Listen. Subscribe to the channel. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you are tapped into the Realest channel on YouTube. I carved out a lane for the real, and I'm the only one in it. And listen to me. If you merge into this lane, you're going to crash out. You tapped into the Realest, man. It's your boy, Grown Man Business TV. You feel what I'm saying? You can tap in, you can tap out, but you know my slogan. You know what I suggest? And I suggest you tap in. Gang.